Misakio, are you really going to eat all that? There's no way you'd be able to. Of course I am. In any case, all of this is merely an amuse-bouche. This is unbelievable. She's like one of those people who can complete the world record for most hamburgers eaten in 30 minutes. My name is Yuna Hoshizaki. I'm 32 years old and I'm a housewife. Today, I'd like to talk about some trouble one of the other mothers conjured up. She has herself a very stubborn, very selfish personality, and the incident was one that could have easily been avoided if she hadn't been so. My husband, Hiroki, who's 5 years older than me, runs his own company. His job got him onto a path towards success a while ago, and because of this, our lives have become easier and more luxurious compared to other people. Between the two of us, we also have a 4-year-old daughter by the name of Waka, and the three of us were living a wonderful life together as a happy family. One day, Hiroki would come and talk to me about something on his mind, and this is what he said.
I have some news, honey. Looks like we're gonna have to open a branch in Kanagawa. The bad news is that I'm gonna have to work over there for about a year.
I honestly didn't know how to respond. It wasn't a distance so great that commuting there every day would be impossible, but it was still a difficult thing considering the return trip would take a total more than 3 hours. That would take a physical toll on Hiroki, I thought, and it would also raise her expenses because of gas and other costs. However, we also had our lovely young daughter to consider. She's still so young, and it would be a bit pitiful for her own father to move away for such a long time. She adores her daddy, and he loves her so very much too after all. That's why, after some discussion, we decided to move to Kanagawa as a family. We were only moving there for a year, so we signed a contract to rent a large apartment. We left the house to my younger brother, who works as a travel blogger/author. He was pretty excited, saying that he was going to publish a bunch of stuff about his life in Kanto that year and stuff like that. I'm so happy he was there to take care of the place. And that's how we left our house under the care of my brother, and how our new life in Kanagawa began. While I did so, we left Waka at a nice little neighbourhood kindergarten, and about that, you see, I felt pretty uncomfortable about taking Waka to her new school. Because I have the personality of a bashful baby deer, I can't talk unless I'm spoken to first, and I'm very conservative with my feelings. Meanwhile, Waka is a very outgoing little girl, so ever since she heard she was going to a new school, she's been pretty restless, I have to say. She takes after her daddy in that aspect. I'm so jealous. And then the first day of school was upon us. I was a lot more stressed than my daughter could be, and I had to force myself to pass through the gate. After a session of greetings and explanations with the kind teachers, I started to notice many more parents bringing their children into school. I slowly approached the group of mothers as a bipedal sack of jittering nerves. Good morning. Today is my first day here, and my name is Yuna Hoshizaki. Yep. Decent, but not perfect. You could easily tell I was pretty darn nervous, and my goodness, I must have gone so red with embarrassment because I felt like I was about to burst into flames. But one of the mothers eased the awkwardness so much by smiling and saying, "It's very nice to meet you too, honey. My name is Akiho Fukutake. We were actually about to head out for a cup of tea. Would you like to join us?" A mother by the name Fukutake, who looked to be around the same age as me, greeted me very kindly. I instantly noticed her smile had a rare mesmerizing effect, and I felt my trembling nerves calm down. To my great surprise, Miss Akio lived right across from the mansion where I lived with my own family. Oh wow! You live in that luxurious apartment just across the street? Your husband must be making bags. Oh no, it's nothing like that. He was only supposed to move here alone for a year. It's unfortunate that we can only live here for such a short time. That's why we kind of went a bit overboard with where we'll live. Oh, is that so? Well, welcome to the city, Miss Yuna. I hope we become good friends over the next year. Next year? I was so happy to know I'd found myself a friend after moving to a new city filled with new vicissitudes and uncertainties. Such was life for a while, and before I knew it, 3 months had passed since I met Miss Akiho. One day, I contacted her about something on my mind. Miss Akiho, do you have a minute? I do, honey. What's the matter? It was by pure chance that I overheard this, but is it true you have your birthday next week? Well, yes, that is true, but at this age, it becomes more of a curse than a celebration, wouldn't you agree? I do agree, honestly, and I was thinking we could make you forget about the depressing truth this time, and celebrate your birthday. Oh, that's alright, honey. I don't want to put you through so much trouble. Oh, nonsense. Consider this my thank you for being so kind to us since the beginning. Oh my, you flatter me, honey. Well then, if you insist. Oh, good. By the way, do you like eating sweets? Of course I do, honey. I found a hotel in front of the station that has a sweets buffet, so I was thinking we could take some time to go there for celebrations. Of course, everything will be my treat. What? This is too much, honey. Are you sure? Of course. Don't you worry about a thing. I'll be looking forward to it. So will I. Thank you so much. Purely by chance, I happened to overhear a few other mothers mention the fact that Miss Akiho was having her birthday the following week. As a way to say thank you for all the kindness she's shown me and Waka, I wanted to treat her to something nice on that special occasion. The hotel I mentioned is a chain, and I've been to one of the branches in Tokyo, and I can personally vouch for its amazing sweets. I thought it was the perfect thing to repay her. Her birthday was upon us before I knew it, and right after we dropped our kids off at school, we went to the hotel for some of that famous sweet and pastries buffet the hotel was famous for. This is amazing! Every single one of these desserts looks absolutely delicious. You sure I can eat as much as I want? Of course you can. It is a buffet after all. Let's eat so much that the bakers in the kitchen have struggled to keep up with us. That's true. It is a buffet, after all. We must gobble up as much food as we can. Miss Akiho, is something the matter? No, not at all, honey. Now, enough standing around. Let's go get some cake. If she was this happy to be here, then this idea was totally worth it. But little did I know this would behold the most unbelievable sight in just a few moments. Even now, I still cannot imagine I will witness such a scene. Miss Akio, are you really going to eat all that? There's no way you'd be able to. Of course I am. In any case, all of this is merely an amuse-bouche. This is unbelievable. She's like one of those people who can complete the world record for most hamburgers eaten in 30 minutes. Upon her plate was a discombobulated hodgepodge of whipped cream, sponge cake, cookies, and other assorted snacks, and she was just gobbling it down, like it was just a part of her everyday life. Just beholding her do that made me gradually lose my appetite. Oh my gosh! Every single of these desserts is the most amazing thing I've ever had! How very delicious, Miss Akio. By this point already, I was already starting to get heartburn simply by watching her scarf down the gargantuan amount of sweets. But then she did something even more unthinkable. That plate of food alone was enough to choke a horse. But later she said something like, well, that was easy, I'm gonna get some more, and headed back to the corner with a lot of energy. She came back with a plate as jam-packed as the first, and the last straw was not only did she go back for seconds once, or even twice, no, she went back for the same amount 12 times in total. How can you eat so much and never gain any weight? I envy you so much. I guess it's some kind of blessing. For as long as I remember, I've eaten so much of so many different things, and I never gained any extra fat or anything. After the payment's done, Miss Akiho went on to say, well, that was incredible, honey. Thanks for taking me here. I had a wonderful time. But I'm afraid I have another engagement in about 20 minutes. Can we call it a day here? Yes, of course. Happy birthday to you, Miss Akiho. Let's hang out again sometime. Thanks so much, honey. I'll see you soon. The occasion ended pretty normally, and the thing I felt most was envy that she had the ability to remain slim and healthy despite eating so much in one go. But a week later, I would get a text from Miss Akiho, and this is what the conversation became. Thanks so much for the other day, honey. It truly meant a lot, and everything was insanely delicious. It better be, honestly. I forgot to mention that buffet only occurs once every 3 months. If we ever get another chance, let's definitely go there sometime. Hell yeah, let's definitely go. I'm already so excited for that day to come. On a different note, my son Daichi will have his birthday in a couple weeks. Did you know that? No, I didn't. How nice of a mother's son to have a birthday pretty close to hers. Yep, his birthday is exactly 3 weeks away from mine. I was hoping you and your darling Waka could join us with the celebrations. Of course we'd love to join you. At night, however, we were planning to end the day with family out, you understand? But I was hoping to get him something nice for lunch. Something all of us, including darling Waka, would love to have. I see. Then I'm assuming we're gonna have lunch together, the 4 of us, next Saturday? Exactly. That'll be a nice present for Daichi, I'm sure. Awesome. I'll be sure to tell my daughter about the plan too. Thank you. I just know Waka's gonna enjoy it a lot too. Do you have any ideas for a good place to go for lunch? There's a little conveyor belt sushi restaurant nearby, and they serve their sushi on little toy Shinkansen bullet trains. My son adores those so much. Oh my gosh, so does my daughter! I have a feeling this is going to be the best birthday lunch ever. This time, she invited me to celebrate her son's birthday with her. When I received the invitation, I was wholeheartedly thrilled to be a part of her darling son's special day. The next Sunday arrived pretty quickly, and with Waka holding my hand in front of the conveyor belt sushi restaurant, we waited for Miss Akiho and Daichi. However, in my gullible little mind, who thought that the cake buffet was the first and last time I'd seen Miss Akiho hawk down enough food to kill a blue whale, Daichi dear, happy birthday! Happy birthday! Thank you! Seeing the birthday boy smirk and giggle with proudness and a little bit of shyness would make any mother smile. And then it happened. Daichi, sweetie, today's gonna be all on Waka's mummy, okay? So you can eat up as much as you want. Thank you, Mummy Yuna. Huh? Oh, You're welcome, dear. Yep, you guessed it. For some reason, it had become my treat. And the worst part is, Miss Akiho had never informed me beforehand, nor did she ask me to accept this idea. I never dreamed it would be the case, but oh well, it was the young boy's special day. So I let the brainless train of logic lead me to the decision to brush this aside and go along with the idea. And right afterwards, I would eternally despise myself for not being able to learn what I'd observed a couple weeks ago.
Well now, let's see. We'll take 10 orders of fatty tuna, 15 orders of salmon, please. Oh, wait, they have cake too? I might have some of that for dessert.
What would have the audacity to show itself before my own eyes yet again was the sushi equivalent of all those humongous plates of desserts Miss Akiho had eaten a couple weeks back. Of course, I knew she never did this to intentionally exploit me or anything evil like that, but the truth remained, this wasn't her birthday, it was her son's, and above all else, this wasn't an all-you-can-eat establishment.
It's your birthday today, sweetie, so I think we can eat as much as we want. Mummy Akiho, that's so cool. It's like watching one of those famous people on TV.
Yes, exactly. Come on now, Waka. Eat up all you want, okay? Oh boy, I know the check is going to be something so damn ugly. When Miss Akiho was finally satisfied, I anxiously awaited the cashier to calculate the total price.
In total, that'll be 32,000 yen, please.
32,000 yen?
Well, that was amazing. Thanks for everything, honey.
It's alright, Miss Akiho. To put things into perspective, a human being with a regular appetite would be satisfied at plates of sushi that altogether would amount to 5,000 yen top. Assuming that each plate had a price of 250 yen each, that would amount to 20 plates, which is already more than you'd think. But our table consumed 130 plates instead.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I have to go to the bathroom. Could you please keep an eye on Dachi?
Yes, of course, Miss Akiho. As I watched the two children play together, I felt the burden of 32,000 yen wasted on sushi start to crush my shoulders, and I unwillingly let out an exasperated sigh. Just in case, I told my husband about the incident.
That was a celebration, right? It was her son's birthday. As long as it's a special occasion for someone, it's absolutely fine. Waka, was the sushi delicious?
Yeah, I want to go with you too next time, Daddy.
He actually allowed this particular incident to pass by without creating any problems. It's in situations like this that I'm reminded of how generous my husband really is. However, the nightmare didn't stop there.
My husband got promoted, and this calls for a celebration. I'm so sorry, I'm so stupid. I forgot to bring my wallet today. So please, just this once, could you pay for today?
The average price of what we eat itself isn't expensive, but with the ridiculous amounts she consumed every time, the price would amount to something catastrophic. It's instances like this that really make me hate myself for not being too capable of speaking my mind, and it's at least partially my fault for not protesting in the slightest, and for letting her make me pay.
Yuna, you do know that paying for everything every time is not a good thing, right?
I'm sorry, honey. You know me more than anyone. I just can't say I don't want to pay. I don't know what I should do.
In the event that she tries to get you to pay for her again, you call me and we'll settle this together. I'm going to give her a simple warning over the phone. Let's let her husband know about what's going on. You do have the receipts of all the times you ate out, right?
Yep, I saved them all because I put them in the house budget book.
Well then, how about we combine everything from the last 6 months or so and ask them to repay us?
Thanks to my husband's advice, I finally mustered up the determination to refuse paying for Miss Akiho next time we go out together. And then the final incident occurred.
Hey, listen! If my memory's not mistaken, isn't it your birthday next week, honey?
Nope, you're not wrong. It's next Wednesday, actually.
Well, that's a relief. I know I'm a bit early, but happy birthday!
Thank you so much.
Now, down to business. I do believe it's my turn to spoil you with some celebrations finally.
Oh, Miss Akiho, please, you mustn't take the trouble.
Too late, honey. You went above and beyond on my birthday. I did some research, and I think I found just the right restaurant for this momentous occasion.
And where would that be?
You know that new place near the station called MoniRobo Inn?
That's a Japanese barbecue restaurant, isn't it? I do recall seeing somewhere that the prices are fairly expensive.
That's right, and I think it's the best way to do something for you in return for all the favors you did for me.
I'm alright with going to a more reasonable place, you know.
Oh, nonsense. It's your special day, and I'm gonna make sure it becomes extra special. In any case, I think your family has that kind of barbecue very often, do you not?
Anything, but Miss Akiho, I've never actually had this kind of barbecue, ever.
Then it's settled. We're going there for your birthday lunch.
Awesome. Well, thanks for inviting me out. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure's all mine, honey.
To be honest with you, my gut went to DEFCON 2, which is to say I had a very bad feeling about this. So, as I promised, I consulted my husband beforehand.
She did explicitly say that it's all for celebrating your birthday, did she?
Yeah, I can. Here's the text history. I'm convinced her intentions are alright.
In that case, let's put a pin in this discussion for the time being, and go on and have your fun.
Got it. I'll let you know if something happens. And then my birthday was upon us. Just to be safe and informed, before we entered the restaurant, I said this to Miss Akiho. Are you sure you're alright with the payment?
Don't you worry about that, honey. All I want you to do is eat up and have fun.
She was very enthusiastic about it, so I headed inside the establishment. Lord, I beg of thee, let us walk away from this without disaster striking.
Well now, let's see. We'll take 10 orders of super deluxe chuck rib, 5 orders of special salted tongue. Oh my Yuna, honey, look! They even have a rib roast.
I never would have expected that. The appetite was unfathomable. I couldn't even begin to imagine how expensive the prices were going to be. However, an hour later, I had to leave the table to go to the bathroom. I was only there for 2 minutes, and when I came back and walked to the table, Miss Akiho? She was nowhere to be found. A passing waiter cleared up the mystery of her whereabouts.
If it's about your friend, madam, she left a moment ago.
What? For the first time, I looked down at the table, and there was the bill of the meal. Furious and panicking, I frantically called her. Miss Akiho, where the heck are you? Why would you leave without letting me know?
I'm sorry, honey. A sudden errand just occurred to me, and I had to rush. This'll be last time, though, but could you settle the bill? I can't thank you enough.
Every single time we go out to eat together, you have me pay ungodly amounts of money.
Huh? Your family's rich, right? You can't deny it. I know you are. Stop acting like such a baby, and please take care of the bill.
This has gone far beyond matters of me being rich, Miss Akiho. How much do you think today's lunch cost altogether? It's an absolutely stupid 200,000 yen.
Damn, it really went to the moon and back, huh?
Don't you think you can spare a little bit of time to come back and settle this bill this time?
And I'm nowhere as privileged to afford such a ridiculous price.
I understand now. Well then, how about I propose an idea? I was ready to frickin' explode. I was ready to strangle her with my bare hands, but instead I remembered what Hiroki and I had arranged. As soon as I went back home, I told him exactly what had happened.
The place you went to for lunch today, the name was MoniRobo N, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Alright, our plan might work out even better than we ever hoped.
The next day, Miss Akiho stopped by our house. I say stopped by when I really mean stormed.
Listen here, what the hell is this? An invoice? Explain this to me now!
As you can see, that's the bill for yesterday's barbecue. My family is going to make sure you pay every single coin of that 200,000 yen, whether you like it or not. We have conclusive proof of our texting history, which states that you promised you would take care of this account. If you refuse to pay, I suppose you can know where this could end up. The restaurant we went to for lunch, MoniRobo N, is actually run by my husband's cousin. Hiroki arranged to meet him, explained everything that happened, and his cousin kindly agreed he would do anything to help us.
How dare you! You're frickin' filthy rich, and you use that dirty trick to get me to pay for your stupid celebrations!
Like hell if it matters if we're rich or not, Miss Akiho.
Shut up! I highly doubt anyone by the likes of you lords and ladies will ever understand how I always feel about my life.
What you did just goes against what I thought was our friendship. Turns out you were just using me to pig out and have fun with your life. Wait, Miss Akiho, please calm down.
It's your fault my husband found out!
Miss Akiho had begun to show signs of clinical insanity. She started screaming, punching the wall, and slamming her shoes into the ground. I was starting to think something was wrong with her, when, out of the blue...
I knew there was only one place you'd be after you freaking sprinted away from the apartment in the middle of an argument. How about you just stop this freaking nonsense? I'm so disappointed in you, Akiho.
The man was none other than Mr. Masashi Futake, Miss Akiho's husband.
Miss Yuna, you must forgive me for this sudden intrusion. We will discuss this matter in due time, you have my word. Please excuse us, and please send my regards to your husband.
A single warning look from her husband caused her to drain away completely, and her face donned a look of shameful hopelessness. And just like that, he turned around and made for her stairs, Miss Akiho drudging behind him glumly. What happened earlier that very day, and what was going to happen regarding the situation. In a nutshell, Miss Akiho has a very serious case of overeating. It seems like once she got pregnant with Daichi, instead of getting morning sickness like I did, Miss Akiho developed extremely powerful cravings for almost all types of food, even after giving birth. It was sometimes so bad that she would eat so much, voluntarily make herself puke and then start eating again. Because of this, her stomach had been stretched because of the sheer volume of food that she had crammed inside, and that's why she's able to eat amounts that shouldn't be humanly possible. The time when we had sushi with our children, I do remember her being absent for quite a while, as she told me she had to go to the bathroom or leave early. Now I'm fairly certain that was to make sure no one would find out that she would be emptying her stomach of the ridiculous enormous amounts of food. And she'd apparently undergone treatment for her condition and was actually improving rather well until fairly recently, but because of my inviting her to the dessert buffet on her birthday, it had made a deadly comeback. But because her husband would find out if she pigged out in her own home, so she decided that using me to satisfy those urges was the best alternative. And the fact that she was making me pay every time was nothing but a cover that she wouldn't be spending a stupid amount of her husband's money on food. The fact that I was decently rich didn't really help my cause at all. I'm so sorry. If only I hadn't invited her to that dessert buffet, none of this would have ever happened.
No, ma'am, you did nothing wrong. You never knew my wife had such a condition. You only did what you thought was an appropriate birthday gift, which it was, believe me. My wife's to blame because she gave in quite easily to the promise of being satisfied. Please, we will promptly pay you back for everything.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I'm also to blame in this, for not noticing anything strange about my wife these past couple of months. However, I must ask you a favor, and that is to refrain from spending time with her for the foreseeable future. I'm terribly sorry I must ask this unjust favor of you.
Oh, no worries, sir. Since this is the start, we only plan to live out for a year.
In that case, I don't think you'll get to see my wife again by the time you leave. She's being admitted to a psychiatrist, you see.
Oh, I see. Please tell her I hope she gets well soon.
Of course! I must apologize again for this whole situation. Please send my regard to Mr. Hoshizaki.
And afterwards, with an apologetic heart, I handed the account book that contained all the payments for the last while, and right on the spot, he paid me back all the money, including the money that covered what me and my children had eaten, in liquid cash. And a year passed since we moved into our temporary home in Kanagawa, and what Mr. Futake said was indeed true. I never saw Miss Akiho again after leaving for home, but I still remember what happened very vividly. It isn't good to use someone for your own personal gain, whatever it may be, but the fact that it wasn't entirely Miss Akiho's fault is noteworthy as well. I don't believe I'll ever see her again, but I do hope she recovers quickly from her condition, and comes back to society with a new feeling of hope for the future, and I will do my best too.